Look at that, 1982. Already got the chubby cheeks and everything. It's my brother, Bo. We grew up in Little Washington, North Carolina. And about 45 minutes away, that same year, my dad bought some property off the Pungo River. I grew up in the Pamlico River. He bought some property in Hyde County in the Pungo River, and we had a little river cottage. As you can see, as the camera tilts up a little bit, it was a trailer, all right? It was a trailer. It was a mobile home. But to us, it was a second home. It was our river cottage. It was our little slice of heaven. So we loved it. We'd go down there on the weekends, and that is my dad, strong, silent country man, smoked cigarettes all day, and that was the boat that I grew up on. It was a 16-foot Mitchell tri-hull with a 35 horsepower Evinrude, outboard Evinrude on it. Now that's key because my dad was the type of man who, that's all he needed. He didn't want to go too fast, 35 miles per hour. This is a man who got a ticket once for going too slow on the highway. No joke, true story. Come to find out, it's because he had been drinking. The ticket was actually a DUI, but it was still for going too slow. Now, as it were, that wasn't the only time he drank. In fact, he drank quite a lot. And by quite a lot, I mean every day. So things weren't really pleasant growing up in my family. There was fights, the cops were called, general basic redneckery going on. But this, when we come down here and the times on that boat were the good times. That's what I think about when I think of that boat. I don't think of the bad times, I think of the good times. This boat was the same age I was, it grew up with us, it was like a family member. And when we'd go down to Hyde County on the weekends, what we would do, it'd be dusk, much like it is here. Look at me and Bo running through the flood. It would be dusk, and we'd go out and we'd set flounder nets along the banks of the Pungo River. And then, the next morning, you'd have to wake up and pull them in before the sun rose. No kid that age wants to wake up at 6 a.m. to go pull in a slimy net full of fish and crabs. So I was reluctant. I never wanted to do it. And when I see this adorable picture, can we agree it's adorable, please? Come on, I peaked at 5. I'm just kidding, I'm still handsome. When I see this picture, I think of one time in particular. This was a typical weekend. We went down there, set the nets at sunset, came back in, had a good fresh seafood dinner, ate ice cream out of like the cardboard box that would open, if you ever had those. Watched Saturday Night Live on a 3-channel knob-turning television. And this was during the Adam Sandler and Chris Farley years, best cast ever. And then we went to bed, woke up the next morning to go get the nets. Here was my job. I manned the throttle while my dad pulled in the nets off the bow. And if we got a little too close to the net, I'd throw it in neutral or I'd back it up and reverse a little bit. If we needed to move forward, I'd throw it forward. And one thing that happened every now and then, besides pulling in a flounder or a spot or a croaker or a blue crab, sometimes you'd get a skate. And a skate, if you're not familiar, is basically a cousin of a stingray. There's a poisonous barb there too. Some of them were this big, and they made this, oh my God, they made this terrible sound, this like whop, whop, this awful sound when they'd flap their fins in the boat. For this version of rain, it was terrified. I'm triggered right now just thinking about it. So this day, we get a skate. Okay, not a big deal. Normally you untangle them from the net, release them, they go on about their merry way. But it was super, super tangled, and the current had pulled us forward. So we're getting away on top of the net now. Now we're getting in real trouble because if the net gets under the boat and gets caught on the prop, we're in a different kind of trouble, right? So the only option we had was to pull in the excess of net that we had basically gone over, pull it into the boat, and we'd untangle it later. We had to get this skate out. As my dad pulled it in, there was another one. Then another one. Then another one. There were 7 skates in various sizes, but some of them were this big around, flopping and making a whop, whop all over the boat. So now I don't have a choice. I get pulled off of my normal post, what I normally do, and I have to help my dad. He gives me a pocket knife and tells me to get this one untangled. So I'm like, okay, I got a new responsibility. Time to step up, be a man. You can do it. So I'm struggling. It's so tangled. I shouldn't even be handling the pocket knife. I'm probably too young. I'm sweating. At one point, my hand almost hits the barb, and I'm freaking out. And I'm about to call for help, but I really wanted to prove myself and help my dad. He's dealing with 6 other ones. And I'm just, sweat is pouring off of me. I'm nervous. I'm shaking. And just as I'm about to call out for my dad for help, I feel this like water trickling on my neck. I wipe at it, and I keep going. And then it comes back, and I look up, and the sun's coming up over the horizon. I'm like, there's not a cloud in the sky. I know it's not raining. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I turn in regular motion, but it felt like slow motion. I turned to see if my dad, it was happening to him, or if he knew what was going on. And I turn in slow motion, and I see him standing there. Katie said I could curse, right? Standing there with a shit-eating grin, holding a flounder in his hand and squeezing it, so it's peeing on me. The flounder is peeing on me. I didn't even know fish could pee. Come to find out, some of them can. And it was peeing all over me. I'm 5 years old, I started crying. And then my dad started dying laughing, like buckled over. And I'm just sitting there, Daddy. But when I saw him laughing, then I started laughing. And we had this moment where we were both just buckled over, skates flopping all over the boat and dying laughing. Now, eventually, we helped each other. We got the rest of the skates out, kind of tore up the net a little bit. We pulled in a decent haul of fish, not great, but enough so that we could have dinner that night. But from that moment on, I didn't dread going out there so much because this became a moment where we bonded, right? We had this connection through the boat. And as I grew up later, I longed for that. As I grew up, I longed for that feeling that I had on the boat.